Liam had always been a people person. As a waiter at Clara's diner, a cozy little spot tucked away in a quiet neighborhood, he took pride in making sure everyone felt welcome. Whether it was refilling coffee cups, cracking jokes with regulars, or simply listening to someone's bad day, Liam gave every customer his full attention. One busy afternoon, a frail-looking elderly woman walked into the diner. She moved slowly, leaning heavily on her cane, and chose a table near the window. Liam noticed her right away. There was something gentle about her presence, though her clothes were elegant and spoke of wealth. "Hi there," Liam greeted her warmly as he approached her table. "Can I get you something to drink while you look at the menu?" "A glass of water would be lovely, thank you," the woman replied, her voice soft but steady. As Liam brought her water, he kept an eye on her from across the room. After finishing her meal, the woman stood up carefully and made her way toward the restroom. That's when it happened. Moments later, Liam heard a faint thud from the hallway leading to the bathrooms. Without hesitation, he rushed over and found the woman sitting on the floor, looking flustered but unharmed. "Are you okay, ma'am?" Liam asked gently, crouching beside her. Yes, I'm fine," she said, though her cheeks flushed with embarrassment. "Just a bit clumsy today." "Let me help you up," Liam offered, extending his hand. With care, he helped her to her feet and steadied her until she regained her balance. "Thank you, young man," she said sincerely, meeting his gaze. "You've been very kind." "No problem at all," Liam replied with a reassuring smile. "Take your time. We're not in a hurry here." After ensuring she was settled back at her table, Liam returned to his duties, thinking nothing more of the incident. Little did he know, this simple act of kindness would change his life forever. The elderly woman, Evelyn Carter, couldn't stop thinking about the young waiter who had helped her that afternoon. His kindness had touched her deeply, not just because he had assisted her when she needed it most, but because he had done so without making her feel small or embarrassed. In his eyes, she hadn't seen pity or judgment, only genuine concern and compassion. Evelyn knew all too well how rare such qualities were in today's world, especially in places like restaurants where staff often prioritized efficiency over empathy. Yet Liam had taken the time to ensure she was okay, treating her with dignity and care. It reminded her of why she had fallen in love with the hospitality industry decades ago, a love that had driven her to build a chain of high-end restaurants across the country. But those same years in the business had also hardened her in some ways. She had grown accustomed to dealing with people who cared more about appearances than substance, more about profits than people. Liam's actions stood out sharply against that backdrop, reigniting a sense of hope she thought she'd lost long ago. A few days later, Evelyn returned to Clara's diner, this time with a specific purpose in mind. As she entered, she scanned the room until her eyes landed on Liam. He was busy serving another table, but when their eyes met, he smiled warmly, recognizing her immediately. "Welcome back," he said cheerfully as he approached her. "Can I get you started with something today? I'd actually like to speak with you, if you have a moment," Evelyn replied, her tone polite but firm. Liam nodded, slightly puzzled. "Of course. Is everything all right?" Yes, everything is fine," Evelyn assured him. "Please, join me at this table for a minute." Once they were seated, Evelyn took a deep breath before speaking. "Your name is Liam, correct?" "Yes, ma'am," Liam confirmed, still unsure what this was about. "My name is Evelyn Carter," she began, watching for any flicker of recognition. When none came, she continued. "I own several restaurants. You may not have heard of them, but I wanted to tell you something important. The other day, when I fell in your restroom, you helped me without hesitation. That act of kindness meant more to me than you can imagine." Liam shifted uncomfortably, brushing off the praise. "It was nothing, really. Anyone would have done the same." "No, they wouldn't," Evelyn countered firmly. "Many people would have turned away, too busy or too afraid to get involved. But you didn't. You showed me humanity, and that's something I haven't forgotten." Liam shrugged modestly, unsure how to respond. "I'm glad I could help, Mrs. Carter. Truly." Evelyn studied him for a moment, noting the sincerity in his voice and the humility in his demeanor. This was exactly the kind of person she admired, someone who gave freely without expecting anything in return. "There's something I'd like to offer you, Liam," she said finally. "An opportunity to showcase your talents in a way you might not have considered before." Liam frowned, confused. "Talents? Ma'am, I'm just a waiter. I don't think I have much to offer beyond refilling coffee cups." "You're wrong," Evelyn insisted, leaning forward slightly. "I see potential in you, Liam. Potential that deserves a chance to grow. Would you be willing to hear me out?" Intrigued despite his doubts, Liam nodded slowly. "All right, I'm listening." Evelyn explained that one of her restaurants was looking for fresh ideas in its kitchen, a place where creativity and passion mattered more than formal training. Though hesitant at first, Liam agreed to consider her offer, sensing that turning it down outright would disappoint her. As they parted ways, Evelyn left him with these words. "Sometimes, we underestimate our own worth, Liam. Don't let fear hold you back from discovering what you're truly capable of." Her confidence in him lingered long after their conversation ended, planting seeds of curiosity and possibility in his mind. Over the next few days, Liam couldn't stop thinking about Evelyn's offer. It wasn't just the idea of working in a fancy restaurant that intrigued him. It was the way she believed in him, even when he didn't fully believe in himself. Still, doubts lingered. How could someone like him, a waiter with no formal culinary training, possibly fit into the polished world of fine dining? When Evelyn called the diner a week later to check on his decision, Liam hesitated before agreeing to meet her again. This time, they sat in a quiet cafe near her office, away from the bustle of the diner. "I've thought about your offer," Liam began cautiously, "and I appreciate it more than I can say. But I'm not sure I'm ready for something like this. Your restaurants are incredible, and I wouldn't want to disappoint you or anyone else." Evelyn smiled gently, placing a reassuring hand on his arm. "Liam, let me tell you something. Success isn't about being perfect or having all the answers up front. It's about taking risks, learning along the way, and trusting yourself to grow. You already have what matters most: a good heart and a willingness to work hard." Her words struck a chord deep within him. For years, Liam had played it safe, sticking to jobs where expectations were low and failure felt less daunting. But Evelyn's faith in him made him wonder if maybe it was time to step out of his comfort zone. "What exactly would I be doing?" he asked finally, curiosity outweighing his hesitation. "You'd start as part of the kitchen team," Evelyn explained. "We'll teach you everything you need to know: knife skills, plating techniques, flavor combinations, but we also want you to bring your own ideas to the table. Our chefs value creativity, and I think your perspective will add something unique." Liam nodded slowly, imagining himself standing in a gleaming kitchen surrounded by stainless steel counters and bustling staff. The image felt foreign yet exciting. "Okay," he said after a pause. "I'll give it a shot. But promise me one thing: you won't regret hiring me." Evelyn chuckled softly, shaking her head. "The only regret I'd have is letting someone as talented as you slip away." On his first day at Evelyn's restaurant, Carter and Company, Liam felt completely out of place. The sleek interior, elegant uniforms, and precise movements of the staff intimidated him. Everyone seemed to know exactly what they were doing, while he fumbled with basic tasks like chopping vegetables evenly or timing sauces correctly. But instead of dismissing him, the head chef, Marcus, took Liam under his wing. "It's okay to feel lost at first," Marcus told him during a quiet moment in the prep area. "Everyone starts somewhere. Just focus on learning, and don't be afraid to ask questions." Encouraged by Marcus's patience and Evelyn's frequent check-ins, Liam threw himself into the work. He arrived early, stayed late, and practiced tirelessly during breaks. Slowly but surely, he began mastering the basics, earning nods of approval from his colleagues. One evening, as the team brainstormed menu ideas for an upcoming event, Evelyn turned to Liam unexpectedly. "What do you think, Liam?" she asked, gesturing toward the whiteboard filled with dishes. "Any thoughts on how we could make these stand out?" Caught off guard, Liam hesitated. "Well, I'm still learning. But if it were me, I'd try to keep things simple. People love food that feels familiar but has a little twist, a surprise element that makes them smile. His suggestion sparked a lively discussion, with the team agreeing that simplicity paired with creativity could set their dishes apart. Evelyn beamed with pride, seeing firsthand how Liam's humble approach brought fresh energy to the group. "That's exactly the kind of thinking I hoped you'd bring here," she said afterward, pulling him aside. "Don't ever doubt your instincts, Liam. They're what make you special." As weeks passed, Liam grew more confident in his role. He started experimenting with flavors inspired by the comforting meals he'd grown up eating, dishes that reminded him of home and family. To his surprise, these creations resonated deeply with customers, earning rave reviews and repeat orders. One night, after receiving glowing feedback from a guest who praised his dish as the best meal I've ever had, Liam realized something important. He wasn't just surviving in this new world, he was thriving. And it was all thanks to Evelyn's belief in him. Still, he knew he had much to learn. Each day brought new challenges, but also new opportunities to grow. With Evelyn and Marcus guiding him, Liam began to see himself not just as a waiter anymore, but as someone capable of achieving far more than he'd ever imagined. Despite his growing confidence, Liam soon discovered that working in fine dining came with its own set of challenges. The fast-paced environment demanded precision and perfection, qualities that didn't always align with his instinctive, heartfelt approach to cooking. Mistakes were inevitable, and some of them tested his resolve. One evening during a busy dinner service, Liam accidentally burned a batch of vegetables meant for a high-profile guest's appetizer. When Marcus spotted the error, he called Liam aside, his tone firm but not unkind. "This is a lesson, not a failure," Marcus said, gesturing toward the ruined dish. "In this kitchen, every detail matters. You need to stay focused no matter how hectic things get." Liam nodded, feeling a mix of frustration and embarrassment. He had let down not only himself but also the entire team. Determined to make amends, he spent the rest of the night assisting wherever needed, vowing to improve. Evelyn noticed Liam's struggles and decided to step in. She invited him to her office after closing time one evening, offering him tea and a listening ear. "How are you holding up?" she asked gently, studying his tired face. "I'm trying," Liam admitted, running a hand through his hair. "But sometimes it feels like I'll never be good enough. Like maybe I don't belong here." "That's fear talking," Evelyn replied firmly. "And fear lies. You've already proven yourself by showing up every day and giving your best effort. Trust me, Liam. It takes courage to keep going when things feel overwhelming." Her words reminded him of why he had taken this leap of faith in the first place. Evelyn wasn't just his boss. She was a mentor who believed in him even when he doubted himself. "You're right," Liam said finally, managing a small smile. "I won't give up, not now, not ever." Over the next few weeks, Liam pushed harder than ever. He practiced knife skills until his hands ached, studied flavor profiles late into the night, and sought advice from experienced chefs whenever possible. Slowly but surely, his efforts began to pay off. During a particularly busy weekend, the head chef assigned Liam to lead a station for the first time, a responsibility usually reserved for seasoned cooks. Though nervous, Liam approached the task with determination. By the end of the night, he had executed every order flawlessly, earning praise from both Marcus and Evelyn. "That's what I'm talking about," Evelyn said proudly as she watched him clean his station. "You earned this moment, Liam. Never forget that." As Liam gained respect among his colleagues, he also began infusing his dishes with personal touches that reflected his journey. For instance, he created a dessert inspired by the apple pies his grandmother used to bake, adding a modern twist with caramelized apples and a hint of cinnamon foam. Customers raved about it, calling it nostalgic yet innovative. Word spread quickly within the restaurant, and soon Evelyn encouraged Liam to present one of his creations at an upcoming industry event showcasing emerging talent. "Are you sure about this?" Liam asked nervously when Evelyn told him. "What if people don't like it? What if I embarrass you?" "They'll love it because it comes from the heart," Evelyn assured him. "And you could never embarrass me," Liam, your growth has been nothing short of inspiring. With Evelyn's encouragement, Liam agreed to participate. He spent days refining his dish, a savory main course featuring slow-cooked lamb infused with herbs and served alongside creamy polenta. It was simple yet elegant, capturing the essence of comfort food elevated to fine dining standards. On the day of the event, Liam felt a surge of nerves as he stood behind his display table, watching judges and attendees sample his creation. To his relief and delight, the response was overwhelmingly positive. "This is incredible," one judge remarked, jotting notes on her clipboard. "It's clear you put thought and care into every element." By the end of the evening, Liam received an award for Most Promising New Talent, leaving him speechless with gratitude. As Evelyn hugged him tightly, tears glistening in her eyes, he realized something profound. Success wasn't just about individual achievement. It was about lifting others up along the way. Through these experiences, Liam learned valuable lessons about resilience, creativity, and staying true to oneself. Meanwhile, Evelyn found herself reflecting on her own journey. Watching Liam grow reminded her of why she had entered the restaurant business in the first place. Not for fame or fortune, but to create meaningful connections through food. "He's teaching me as much as I'm teaching him," Evelyn confided in Marcus one evening. "Sometimes, all it takes is believing in someone to help them shine." Marcus nodded, smiling faintly. "And sometimes, all it takes is someone like you to show them the way." As Liam continued to grow in his role at Carter & Company, his influence began to ripple through the restaurant. Not just in the dishes he created, but in the way he interacted with others. His humility and willingness to learn inspired those around him, creating a culture of collaboration and mutual support. Evelyn noticed the shift almost immediately. Staff members who had once been skeptical of Liam's unpolished beginnings now sought his advice on flavor combinations or plating techniques. Even Marcus, known for his tough exterior, softened when working alongside Liam, often praising his creativity and dedication during team meetings. "Liam has a gift," Marcus said one afternoon as they reviewed the upcoming menu. "He sees food not just as ingredients, but as stories. That's rare in this industry." Evelyn nodded, her pride evident. "It's because he stays true to himself. He doesn't try to be someone he's not. And that authenticity shines through in everything he does." One day, Evelyn approached Liam with an idea that would further challenge him and elevate their partnership to new heights. "I've been thinking about expanding our brand," she began, spreading sketches of a potential new concept across the table. "A smaller, more intimate space where we focus on seasonal, locally sourced ingredients. Something cozy but elevated, like your style of cooking." Liam's eyes widened as he studied the plans. "This sounds amazing, but are you sure you want me involved? I mean, I'm still learning." "I wouldn't trust anyone else with it," Evelyn replied firmly. "You understand what makes food special. The connection between taste and memory, simplicity and soul. This project needs someone like you to bring it to life." Though intimidated by the responsibility, Liam couldn't deny the excitement bubbling inside him. For years, he had dreamed of making a difference in the culinary world, and now Evelyn was handing him the tools to do just that. "I won't let you down," he promised, meeting her gaze. The planning process brought Liam and Evelyn even closer together. They spent hours brainstorming ideas, visiting local farms to select fresh produce, and testing recipes until they struck the perfect balance of comfort and sophistication. Along the way, Evelyn shared stories from her early days in the business, how she had started small, faced countless rejections, and eventually built her empire through sheer determination. "You remind me of myself back then," she admitted one evening as they sampled a new dish. "Not because of talent alone, but because of heart. You care deeply about people, Liam, and that's what sets you apart." Her words touched him deeply, reinforcing his belief that success wasn't just about skill. It was about purpose. When the new restaurant, Seasons, finally opened its doors, it became an instant hit. Guests praised not only the food but also the warm atmosphere and attention to detail. Each dish told a story, one rooted in tradition yet infused with innovation, and every bite left customers craving more. For Liam, The opening marked a milestone in his journey. From a humble waiter at Clara's diner to the head chef of his own establishment, he had come farther than he ever thought possible. Yet, he never forgot the kindness that had sparked it all. Evelyn's belief in him on that fateful afternoon. During the grand opening celebration, Evelyn raised a glass to toast the team. "To Liam," she said warmly, her voice carrying across the room, "who reminded us all that greatness isn't born, it's nurtured. Thank you for trusting me enough to take this leap of faith." Tears welled up in Liam's eyes as he stood to respond. "And thank you, Evelyn, for seeing something in me I didn't see in myself. None of this would have been possible without your guidance and generosity." The room erupted in applause, but the moment felt intimate, as if it belonged solely to them. Through their partnership, Liam and Evelyn proved that success wasn't about titles or accolades. It was about creating opportunities for others and staying grounded in values like kindness, humility, and perseverance. Their shared vision transformed not only their lives but also the lives of everyone they touched along the way. Months passed, and seasons continued to thrive under Liam's leadership. The restaurant became known not just for its delicious food but also for its welcoming atmosphere, a reflection of Liam's personality and values. Guests often remarked on how the staff made them feel like family, a testament to the culture of kindness and authenticity Liam had fostered. For Evelyn, watching Liam's success filled her with pride, but it also gave her a renewed sense of purpose. Inspired by his journey, she began mentoring other young chefs from humble backgrounds, offering them opportunities to grow within her restaurants. "One person's success can inspire countless others," she told Liam during one of their regular catch-ups. "You've shown me that investing in people is the most rewarding part of this business." Liam smiled, nodding in agreement. "And you've taught me that success isn't about standing alone. It's about building bridges so others can cross too." Their friendship deepened over time, becoming a cornerstone of both their lives. Whether discussing menu ideas, sharing personal struggles, or simply enjoying quiet meals together, they found comfort and joy in each other's company. One evening, as they sat on the patio of Seasons, watching the sunset paint the sky in hues of orange and pink, Evelyn turned to Liam with a thoughtful expression. "Do you ever think about where we'd be if I hadn't fallen in that diner bathroom?" she asked softly. "All the time," Liam admitted, chuckling. "I probably would have stayed at Clara's forever, content but stuck. And you, well, maybe you wouldn't have rediscovered your passion for helping others." Evelyn nodded, her eyes glistening with emotion. "Life has a funny way of bringing people together when they need each other most. That day wasn't just a coincidence. It was meant to happen." "I believe that too," Liam replied sincerely, "and I'll never stop being grateful for it." As years went by, Liam's reputation grew beyond Seasons. He was invited to speak at culinary conferences, share his story in interviews, and even publish a cookbook featuring his favorite recipes. Yet, despite the accolades, he remained grounded, always crediting Evelyn for believing in him when no one else did. "She didn't just give me a job," Liam once said during a panel discussion. "She gave me a chance to prove myself, to discover who I am and what I'm capable of. And because of her, I now try to do the same for others." Evelyn, meanwhile, found fulfillment in passing the torch. She scaled back her involvement in daily operations, entrusting her businesses to talented individuals like Liam who shared her vision. Instead, she focused on philanthropy, funding programs to support aspiring chefs from underserved communities. "It's not about leaving a legacy," she explained during an interview. "It's about creating opportunities for the next generation to shine. People like Liam remind us that greatness exists everywhere. We just need to look for it." One spring afternoon, as Liam prepared for another busy service at Seasons, Evelyn walked into the kitchen carrying a small box wrapped in ribbon. "For you," she said, handing it to him with a mischievous smile. Curious, Liam untied the ribbon and opened the box to find a custom-made chef's knife engraved with his initials. Beneath it lay a handwritten note. "To Liam, who turned kindness into art. Thank you for reminding me why I started this journey, and for walking beside me every step of the way." Overwhelmed with gratitude, Liam hugged Evelyn tightly. I don't know what I did to deserve someone like you in my life, he whispered. You trusted me when it mattered most, Evelyn replied simply. That's more than enough. Years later, when Liam stood alongside Evelyn at the opening of yet another successful venture, a community cooking school, they reflected on how far they had come since that rainy afternoon at Clara's diner. We built something beautiful together, Evelyn said, her voice filled with pride. Yes, we did, Liam agreed, smiling warmly. But the best part isn't the restaurants or the awards. It's knowing we made a difference in people's lives. Together, they proved that acts of kindness, no matter how small, can create ripples that last a lifetime. Their story served as a reminder that success isn't measured by wealth or fame, but by the connections we forge and the lives we touch along the way. Because sometimes, all it takes is one moment of compassion to change everything, for giver and receiver alike. If Liam and Evelyn's story inspired you, share it with others. Let us know in the comments. How has kindness or mentorship impacted your life? Your stories inspire us to keep creating tales that matter.